Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. We are meeting here as part of the Global Atomic Forum. I would like to welcome the heads of state and heads of international organizations. I hope that we will be able to discuss issues concerning the present and future of the nuclear industry. Such a dialogue is especially important when more and more countries and large companies see the world's nuclear energy as an important energy resource for long-term, accelerated development. The attitude of society to nuclear energy, to environmentally friendly technologies, which opens up huge opportunities, is also being consistently formed. It is obvious that there are fundamental reasons for such a change of paradigm. And these are not just reliable solutions on the basis of which advanced nuclear power units are created. Another thing is important. There is a fundamentally new technological approach. Artificial intelligence is being introduced everywhere. Significant energy resources are required to process colossal amounts of data. In the current decade alone, the consumption of electricity by data centers will increase by more than threefold. I would like to note that Russia is already creating such modular data processing systems at its nuclear power plants, because nuclear power plants provide the best possible uniform, constant energy supply. Another significant factor in the surge of interest in nuclear energy is the demand for so-called green technologies, which reduce the impact on the environment and climate to a minimum. And I repeat, nuclear power plants are the key sources of clean, low-carbon energy. They are ahead of other energy sources in terms of the price-to-environment ratio and the ability to provide stable power. As a result, by the middle of the century, according to Mr. Grossi's forecast, I am not mistaken, according to the Maggot forecast, the total power of all nuclear power plants in the world can increase by more than 2.5 times and amount to almost 1,000 gigawatts. Moreover, the increase in the demand for nuclear power will largely be provided by the countries of the global south and the east, which are strengthening their technological and industrial potential. We certainly support the desire to develop and use nuclear power for this purpose. I am proud to say that only Russia today has competencies in the entire technological chain of nuclear power. And thanks to safety and resilience to external impacts, nuclear power plants built according to Russian design are the most in demand in the world. I would also like to add that we are developing projects for small, both ground and floating nuclear power plants. Just now, the head of Rosatom told us about this. Very soon, we will produce them in series. Our principled approach is the key to Russia's leadership. First, we strictly comply with contractual obligations imposed on us. I would like to stress this. We strictly comply with everything, regardless of any political conjuncture. Second, we reject so-called technological colonialism. That is, we do not put our partners in dependence on Russian technical solutions. On the contrary, we help to create our own sovereign national nuclear industry, including the training of personnel and the formation of competence centers. We actively attract local companies. We assist in the operation of power units. We provide for supply of nuclear fuel and waste management. I will say more. We share experience, knowledge, and in the creation of other advanced industries of the 21st century. This includes nuclear medicine, digital systems, electric transport, and new materials. As a result, we help our partners to make a real leap forward, to bring the economy to a new level of efficiency, and to improve the quality of life of people. All this is an important social measurement of our work, a visible confirmation that equal access to technologies, including in the field of nuclear power, can ensure dynamic, at the same time fair, sustainable global development. Dear colleagues, we consider nuclear power as the basis for broad international cooperation, for the rapprochement of states. Russia is interested in creating stable, long-term conditions for nuclear projects. First of all, the absolute priority for our country is to ensure nuclear safety and physical protection of nuclear facilities and facilities, wherever they may be. Therefore, it is necessary to continue to increase the requirements for safety and reliability at every stage of the nuclear cycle, including uranium mining, reactor operation, nuclear fuel, and radioactive waste management. Moreover, it is necessary to adjust the regulations in this area in order to maintain a clearly defined balance between the development of a peaceful atom and the strengthening of the nuclear non-proliferation regime. Further, It is obvious that the construction of nuclear power plants requires significant funds, which means that risks and benefits must be balanced between the main participants of such projects, states, investors, and consumers. I believe that it is necessary to build modern models of financing for construction of nuclear power plants and to involve international financial institutions and development banks in such projects. I would like to add that at the beginning of this year, the new development bank created by BRICS confirmed its readiness to finance nuclear projects. And at the end of last year, at the initiative of Russia, a mechanism for coordinating the efforts of BRICS countries, the Atomic Energy Platform, was created. The most important issue is the resource provision of nuclear power plants for decades to come. In order to use a peaceful atom in the long term, fundamentally new, more efficient technologies are needed, and Russia is already working on creating such solutions. Just before the start of this session with my colleagues, before I came here to Hall, we were sitting and exchanging views in informal mode. I would also like to note that according to OSR estimates, all uranium resources, with an optimistic scenario, will be completely exhausted by 2090. This is about 8 million tons. However, in fact, this can already happen in the 2060s. This is all very fast. It can happen before our very eyes, given that a quarter of the reserves go to the site where uranium is a secondary component. Already in 2030, we are planning to launch the world's first nuclear energy system with a closed fuel cycle in the Tomsk region. What does this mean? This is a revolutionary development of Russian scientists and engineers. What does this mean? This means that almost the entire volume, 95% of the fuel used, will be reused in reactors. This mechanism will allow us to solve the problem of accumulating radioactive waste almost completely in the long term. And it is also extremely important to address the issue of uranium supply. I would like to note that the testing of the entire range of four materials for the closed cycle is planned on the basis of the International Research Center. It is being formed in the Ulyanovsk region in Russia, and we invite scientists from different countries to cooperate in the development of technologies that open a new era in nuclear energy without any exaggeration. Dear friends, our meeting at the Global Nuclear Forum is timed for two significant dates. This is the celebration of the 80th anniversary of the Russian nuclear industry, as well as the Day of the Workers of the Nuclear Industry, which is celebrated annually in our country on September 28th. I would like to remind you that the first decision on the development of nuclear energy in the Soviet Union was made on September 28, 1942, when the Patriotic War was going on, and the results of the most dramatic period of the Great Patriotic War were not yet known. The Battle of Stalingrad was going on. The Battle of Stalingrad was not over. The State Defense Committee decided to organize work on uranium. The work has begun. I would like to sincerely congratulate the industry on its anniversary and the upcoming professional holiday of Russian nuclear scientists and veterans of the industry. And, of course, the guests of the forum. And in your place, the specialists from the former republics of the USSR, who are united by the traditions of the great Soviet Ministry of Foreign Affairs, must be continued. I wish you new great successes for the benefit of our citizens, our countries, and without attracting all mankind. Thank you for your attention.